The 2020 CARES Act just passed, and a lot of you are wondering where your money is and what you need to do to get your money as soon as possible. Well, stay tuned because I'm going to talk about all of that and also how you can get a check even if you didn't file a tax return in 2018 or 2019. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Min and I talk about personal finance, how to save money, and how to build wealth. If you haven't already, please like the video and consider subscribing to my channel. Let's get into the video. So let's first talk about when you're actually going to start seeing this money. So the IRS just stated that they're going to start sending out checks on April 9th, 2020. Now this assumes that the IRS already has all of your information. Now if you did an e-file and you chose the route of direct depositing your refund into your account, then they already have that information for you. There's nothing left that you need to do. If you're getting Social Security and they're already depositing that money into your bank account, then again, you don't need to do anything. You're gonna start seeing that money starting April 9th. Now for those of you that did not do a direct deposit, you will just get your check starting April 24th. They're gonna start mailing out checks on that date. Now one thing to keep in mind is the IRS cannot cut that many checks at one time, so you might actually see it weeks after April 24th. It could be a while before you actually see it. The IRS actually has a limit of how many checks they can cut per day. So again, if you already filed a 2019 or 2018 tax return and you did an e-file route and you did a direct deposit into your account, you don't need to do anything else. That is the fastest way to get your money. Now if you haven't filed the 2019 tax return because maybe you owe money or you don't want to file it yet, there are other options for you, and I'll explain them in a little bit here. But if you already did file a tax return for 2018 or 2019, the IRS will just use those amounts to calculate how much stimulus money they're going to send you, and then send it to the bank account they have on file. So if you didn't file a tax return in 2018 or 2019, or if you didn't work in 2018 or 19, there is still a way for you to get this money quicker. The IRS has teamed up with TurboTax to allow you guys to go and actually do a stimulus registration. And what that means is if you didn't need to file a tax return, let's say you made too little money and you weren't required to file a tax return, you can actually go to that website and put your information in, and what TurboTax will do is they will send a shortened version to the IRS, so that way they have all of the information they need, so that way they can send you the stimulus check. So if you don't want to file your 2019 taxes, this is a route you can take to get the information to the IRS, so that way they can give you your stimulus. The great thing about this is that it's free to use and it's relatively simple to fill out. You don't need to be a tax professional to fill all of this information out. They're just going to ask you information about yourself, your Social Security, your address, and your banking information. And then once you do that, you just hit register, and they're going to send that information to the IRS, so that way they can use that to do a direct deposit into your account. Now you don't have to use a direct deposit. They will ask you for an address as well. So for those of you that don't have any information with the IRS, let's say you didn't work for the last 5 years, then you can put this information in there and TurboTax will send that to the IRS, so that way you still get your stimulus check even if you made no money. So make sure you do this if you didn't file a tax return in the last 2 years. Now I want to show you guys what the stimulus website looks like so you know where to go and what to click when you get there. Just remember, you don't need to do this if you filed a tax return already or if you have Social Security. They already have your information. This is for folks that do not have a tax return for 2018 or 2019, or if you made too little income where you didn't need to file a tax return. So you need to go here and register so that way they know who you are. Let's go to the website. Okay, so what you want to do is go to a website like this. It's turbotax.intuit.com/stimulus-check. I'll leave a link in the description for you guys so you guys don't have to remember that. But once you get there, you can see they have a little calculator you can use here. And you can just enter your information in here if you're curious, if you qualify. But that's not what we're interested in. If you actually scroll down some more, you can see here, it's talking about what you need to do to get your stimulus payment. So the first thing is obviously you have to file a tax return. So like I mentioned, if you didn't file a 2018 or 2019 tax return yet, your best bet is to file your 2019 tax return. Now you don't have to actually file a tax return to get the stimulus. That's what this second option is for. And so you can see here, these are for people who have not filed a return yet, or maybe they're waiting to file a 2019 return, or maybe you made too little money where you actually didn't need to file a tax return. So remember, if you don't make over $12,000 a year for a single, you actually don't need to file a tax return because you don't owe any taxes. And so in that case, the IRS actually doesn't know who you are. What you need to do is you need to click this register now button and register your information, so that way they know who you are, what your address is, and also your banking information if you want a direct deposit. So let's go ahead and click that. Now if you already have a TurboTax account, you can just log in and continue where you left off. If you don't, it's going to make you sign up. So I'm going to go ahead and hit no, and you can see here it's just asking for your information and you can create an account. So I'm going to go ahead and just log into my account. So you can see here, once you log in, you're presented with this screen and you're able to register for the stimulus payment. Alright, so they're going to gather some personal information from you, like your name, your address, and all that good stuff. And then here, this is where they ask for your address so that in the event that you want your check mailed to you, you can have that option. Let's say you don't have a bank account, you can just get a regular check. So on this page here is where you want to tell the IRS that you actually don't make enough income. So you can see here it says, I don't meet the minimum requirement to file a tax return. And that's the option you want to pick. So if you didn't work in 2018 or 2019, then you want to select this option. That way you get your stimulus check as soon as possible. And just remember, you don't have to work to qualify for this stimulus check, so make sure you check this option. And then the second option is in the event that you actually do want to file a tax return for 2019. You obviously don't need to use TurboTax, but if you want to, you can. You've already entered a lot of information in. They're going to just pass all that information into their software. You obviously can just choose any other tax software if you want, so you can ignore the second option if you don't want to go with them. So there you have it. This is the fastest way to get your stimulus check. At the end of the day, as long as the IRS has your banking information or your address, that is the only information they need to actually send you the stimulus. And just remember, for those of you that are low earners that aren't on Social Security, so these are people that are making less than $12,000 a year or less than $24,000 if you're married, you need to go and register on this website. If you don't register, you're not going to get a stimulus in April. You're going to have to wait until 2021 to file your taxes, and you don't want to do that. So you need to make sure you go into TurboTax and actually put your information and register yourself so that way you get your money. Just remember that if you don't do anything, you won't get anything. You'll actually miss out on this stimulus. This has happened before in the past stimulus packages. There are a lot of Americans that were eligible for this stimulus and they actually didn't even claim it. So if you're making under the threshold where you didn't file a tax return, you need to go and register so you get your stimulus. And if you're wondering if you qualify for the stimulus, I made a whole nother video talking about that here. Make sure you check that one out. Alright guys, hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, please hit the like button down below. If you have any more questions, let me know down in the comment section below. And if this video was helpful for you, maybe helpful for a family member or a friend, make sure you share it with them. And if you like content like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post pretty much every week. Have a great day and be safe out there.